introduce themselves so you can see who's here. We're sitting in an L like this. Folks who will be addressing the group will go to this podium over here on the side so we can see them all. And we'll start.
Representative Preston Sullivan from District 22, North Mississippi. I'm a non-voting member.
I'm Harry Walker from Jackson, Mississippi.
Bill Benson, I'm Chancellor Clerk in Lee County and serving as the chairman of PERS.
I'm Seal Highland from Jackson, Mississippi.
Will Flatt from Jackson.
Dean Kirby, State Senator, Rankin County.
I'm Kevin Upchurch, Director of the State Department of Finance and Administration.
I'm Greg Snowden. I'm a member of the House from Meridian. I represent District 83, which is Lauderdale and Clark County.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce Rebecca Staples, who is working in the governor's office as the administrator to this particular committee. She may have some announcements that she's making a little while as we proceed. And I'd like to introduce Senator Carter. I don't know if you'd raise your hand. Any of you who plan to speak, if you would please hold up your hand, he'll bring you that you have an honor in appeared on the list. If the honor does not have you on the list, would you confer with him now so we can add you to the list? Rebecca will be keeping time. We're going to let each individual give us a presentation up to 3 minutes. She will stand when you have about 15 seconds to go so that you'll understand that we're wrapping up on the 3 minutes. You have an opportunity to continue to give input from now until the study committee finishes its work by email or in writing, and at the end of the meeting she'll give you information on how you make that communication. So far, the study committee, which was appointed by the governor, has made one decision. The decision we made was at our first meeting in August, and that was to hire a consultant. We did this through a process of a request for proposals to the general public, and out of those requests, after analysis, we hired the firm of GRS, an independent consultant, to do a study for us. And Ken Albert is representing GRS, and he's going to make a presentation. We have copies of this presentation if you'd like to see one right at the edge of the rail here, which is available to you. We'll call on Ken in a few minutes. The funding to pay for GRS is coming from a federal grant that is being given to all the states for the purpose of investigating the retirement system in all the states, being made available to any of the states that want to do such a study, and we've taken advantage of those funds. I say that to let you know that the PERS system, your retirement money, is not paying for this expense, so that it's not a drain at all on the retirement system. GRS, as I mentioned, was selected basically because of their vast experience at presently doing audit work and consulting work for over 800 public and private retirement systems throughout the country in over 30 states. So they have a wealth of knowledge of what's going on in the rest of the country that can accrue to our benefit. The committee has been charged with several directives. Our mission for the governor is to report to the trustees of the retirement system. It makes no decisions at all. It's strictly a study committee report. Authorized walking in, and we'll let you introduce yourself, Rob.
My name is Bob Brown. I represent District South.
This commission will make no decisions whatsoever. All our function is to do is a audit of the system, independent audit, and recommendations will be made to the next administration. It will be made to the next legislature. It will be made to the Board of Trustees of the retirement system. This commission has no authority to make any decisions or make any changes, nor do we intend to usurp It's important that you know that. We're strictly an independent group taking a look at what's going on so that we can ensure sustainability. What does that mean? It's our objective to make sure that the retirement system is sound over the long haul so that people who have retired from the public system will in no way have to worry about the fact that their check is going to come month after month after month until the day that they die. That's our real objective. And so we take that very seriously, and we will shine the light on anything that we think might be a burden to the possibility of that system being sustainable over the long term. We do not want this commission, nor does the government want this commission to get involved in any way in the political process. That's the reason that we will not make our report until after the general election, so that this does not become political rhetoric. We understand, however, that people are talking to the members of the legislature who are running for office, and that's their right to do so. But there'll be no decisions that anybody running for office will have to defend because the report won't come out until after the election is over. The public will witness this entire operation of the study commission in a totally transparent mode. So far, as we mentioned, we've had some preliminary meetings. Most of what this commission has been doing is reading. We have met a couple of times to organize ourselves in order to hire our consultant. And then early on, we decided that we would have this open meeting as one of our beginning sessions. You might ask the question, well, why would you have a public meeting like this before you have anything to report? The reason is simple. Before we start doing any study work or any audit work, we would like to know the feelings that you have in this room and the feelings of the people throughout the state. And so right from the start, we wanted to hear your comments, and that's what we will be doing today. This will not be a question and answer session today. The commission is up here to listen to you. When you make your statements, we'll be recording your questions and so forth, along with other questions that we are receiving, and it will become part of our study. We want to say to you that we have a lot of confidence in the state retirement system. We commend the legislature and the trustees of PERS for some recent action that they have taken prior to this study commission coming into place to look at some corrective measures that will ensure a brighter sustainability for this program for many, many years to come. We think it's important when people are governing your money that they make adjustments according to whatever the conditions happen to be, in this case, the economy. And we may talk a little bit more about that in a few moments. We welcome you here to express yourselves and to state what is on your mind. No doubt many of you in this room are extremely frustrated, especially if you're on a fixed income. You probably are concerned about the high cost of groceries, gasoline, medicine, health care, insurance, taxes, car tax. All of those are very important. This commission cannot deal with those. Our commission is only here for a study. And we know that those expressions will probably come out, but please understand the scope of this commission. We, of course, encourage you to express yourself, but we realize that many folks here who are teachers and former employees and current employees of the state program have some frustrations about some of the things in government that need to be fixed. This won't be the forum for us to do anything other than study the PERS program. We want to emphasize to you that the government has charged us to look only at the PERS program. We're not looking at the Highway Patrol program. We were not charged with that. We're not looking at the legislature's retirement program. We were not charged with that. We realize that we cannot correct some of the past situations that have occurred because of the economy, and we can't solve some of the ills that the economy has brought on to us. That would be frustrating to you, it's frustrating to us, but we have to play the hand we're dealt. Again, Rebecca Staples will have a time clock. We'll invite you to come up and to make your comments and limit it to 3 minutes. We are encouraging continual input. We have, and Rebecca will give you more details before you leave on wages. You can send in written comments, and you can react and question the program as it comes along through the governor's email program and on our webpage. Let's say for today, we realize what's going on out in the marketplace. We realize that there's been an awful lot said in hype in the media about what this commission is doing. So far, the commission's done one thing: we've hired a consultant. There's going to be a lot of rumors about things that have been done. We're not playing games. We're very serious in this charge. We'll be through with our job by November the 15th, and then it will be up to the legislature and the trustees of PERS to do whatever they want to do with the state. If they don't want to do anything, that's their choice. We will have been discharged from our responsibility. Again, we're here because we are Mississippians who are concerned about the long-range sustainability of the retirement program. We have no preconceived notions about anything that should be changed. We have no preconceived notions about anything that should be cut out. We have not committed to anything except study, and report. And that will be what we will do. Now, I'd like to let members of the commission who are hearing this from me for the first time to correct anything that I've said or express themselves in any way on anything that they would like to articulate to you before we hear you. And you came in last, we'll let you go first. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, sir.
Okay, with that, we have a list of folks who have signed up. Again, we will call your attention to Hunter Carter to list your name if you would like, and we're going to take them in the order in which they signed up. We will call Filene Allen. Oh, excuse me. Right. I'm out of order. Kim Albert, representing GRS, is going to give you a little bit of background on his company, and again, he has a handout here. I would like to hear from him so you know what his role is and what the experience of that firm is, so that some of your comments may be directed toward him, and we will give him the opportunity to make that effect at this time, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just going to make a couple of brief statements. I tend to get excited to talk about something. We put together just a couple of pages of presentation material just to tell you a little bit about Gabriel Rivers with the company. We've been around since 1938, and we specialize in providing actuarial and benefit consulting to the public sector. The first slide you'll see is a map of where we've provided services over the last couple of years, and actually it's already out of date. We've actually done some services for Oregon. And I learned that I pronounced because I'm going to the Midwest and pronounce it. Not Oregon, it's Oregon. We've been around for a long time. We are the largest provider of actuarial benefit consulting services to the public sector. We serve over 29 statewide retirement systems, and 95% of our client base is, in fact, public sector. The chairman already mentioned that we have over 800 clients that are from the public sector. And we are the only firm that has valuation software and tools that are specifically designed for valuing public sector benefits. Your team is going to be primarily made up of 3 people. Myself, I'm Ken Alberts. I'm going to be the project manager. Brian Murphy will be the certified actuary. He's actually the president of our company. And Nita Drassoff will be the peer review actuary. Nita actually sits on the actuarial standards board outside of our office, helping to establish basic standards that all actuaries throughout the country follow. In addition, we have resources such as Paul Zorn, who's nationally known as guru for research and development in the government sector. And we have an additional 70 consultants and analysts that each specialize in the public sector that we can draw upon as we need them. Each of our 3 members has over 20 years of experience in the public sector with GRS. We all have different experience in different statewide systems. We all have relative different experiences in developing benefit studies for different clients at various levels, from very simple evaluations of one single proposed change to a very complex study establishing and studying the entire benefit program. The three of us were also involved in the spring audit, the actuarial audit of PERS. I was the project leader of that, and Brian was a certified actuary, and he was the certified actuary. And so we hope we can bring our vast experience from across the country to bring ideas to you to see what things will be there to make sure that your almost 500,000 members have benefits when it's time to retire. That's it.
Okay. Pauline Allen, visited professional educators. I think you brought them first. If you go to the podium.
Thank you. My name is Pauline Allen. I consider it a privilege to represent the retired educators of the Mississippi Professional Educators Board of Directors, and I'm here to speak for this organization. Founded in 1979, MPD is the premier organization for professional educators in Mississippi. In addition to retirees and student members, MPD serves teachers, administrators, support personnel in our state's public and private schools, community colleges, and universities. We have over 10,300 members statewide, including 256 retired educators. The Teachers Retirement System pension plan created in 1944 for certified teachers was the predecessor to PERS for educators. Active members then transferred into PERS when it was enacted in 1952. Thus, Mississippi educators have long depended on the benefits of the pension programs. According to the PERS system as of June 3, 2010, there are approximately 165,000 active employees. 55% of those worked in our schools, either our community colleges, universities. 20% of these were placement teachers. While PERS does not maintain a number of education retirees, if you apply that same formula to it, it would mean that approximately 15,800 of the retired people in PERS are retired placement teachers. Educators are the rank and file of PERS active employees, and these education employees have dedicated and are dedicating their professional careers to serving the future of our state, our children, and our students. In addition, our community college and university staff have played a significant role in Mississippi's economic and workforce development. These public servants could have worked in other states for higher pay. They could have chosen to work somewhere else, but they chose to invest in Mississippi. On a personal note, there was a time in my professional career when I looked around and I saw people with a lot less education than I had, making a whole lot more money and working in a lot better conditions. But part of my decision to remain in public education was because of the money I'd already invested in my pension and the security of my retirement. Now it's too late for me to change that decision. I am retired. Retired MPD members have expressed concern over their benefits, especially their 13th check, and how this could be impacted as a result of your study. Many of these retired educators depend on their state retirement and their 13th check plus Social Security for their living expenses. In addition, many of our MPD members who are still teaching but who are eligible to retire have asked that they should start making plans to retire. We have not encouraged this in response to your formation. We have pledged to keep our members informed, and we appreciate what you're doing to keep our pension secure. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Denton, CEO of the Grenada Lake Medical Center.
Thank you, George. Members of the commission, I applaud you for what you're doing. This is a very important subject for many people in our state, and many of my current and former employees, so we take it very seriously. I hope for your sake, at the end of the day, at the end of this process, you don't feel like that proverbial food money that Gary Clower was talking about. Up in the truth, just hoping somebody shoot up there gets you to believe. Because I know it will be a challenging issue. Not everybody completely understands all the parameters, including myself, of what goes into this. My comments are mine. My own as the CEO of the Community Hospital in Mississippi. We represent a relatively small component of the PERS participants. I submit to you PERS is a great benefit for a number of long-term employees in our organization, and I feel strong that their benefit should be preserved. However, PERS does not meet the needs of today's contemporary employees in healthcare. This may be true in many areas of the state as well. Our historical turnover rate runs about 25%. That's due to the pressure that's on healthcare jobs and the many opportunities that are there. The plan with 8-year vesting and a 9% personal contribution level is neither a recruitment tool nor a retention tool in our circumstance. The plan is far too expensive for a levy for organizations such as ours, which cannot levy taxes to make up the shortfalls. Our current contribution to retirement to the PERS system for our employees is in excess of $2 million. The program is not portable. There are very few places that healthcare workers can go following termination or this decision to relocate from Grenada where they can continue to live in the PERS system. The program is overly expensive for both employers and many employees. The additional annual cost in our organization when the proposed rate increase goes to 12.93% on the employer side in January is an additional $184,000 per year. The additional cost when it goes to 14.1% in July becomes $415,000. In today's healthcare environment, our ability to cover these increased costs is very limited. Our research suggests across all industries in Mississippi, the typical employer retirement contribution runs between 4 and 6%. What financial impact will these two increases I just mentioned have on the state and its budget? For your information, the average amount of money that we forfeit each year in our business is pushing $500,000. For employees where we have made the employer contribution, they terminate employment, move to another job in another city or wherever, and after they're not vested, they can appeal and their funds repaid for hours that were fitted into the plan. Some suggestions for you to consider is an analysis of the turnover of state employees, what percentage of employees can invest, what is the annual amount forfeited year by the state, evaluate the cost of running the existing program out through its normal 10-year cap, everybody at 25 or 30 years, and start a prominently defined contribution plan and have some form of employee participation and employer participation.
Thank you. Ms. Brenda Scott, go ahead. We'll move to Carolyn Smith, retired education personnel of Mississippi.
Good afternoon. My name is Brenda Scott, and I'm not in Mississippi, don't have teachers because they haven't represented this year. But I would like to thank you for this opportunity to speak. Our phones has been ringing off the hook from workers interested in what might happen in their retirement. There have been both active and retired workers. These workers range from those who work in the prison system, mental health, tax commission, healthcare, Medicaid, illness service, university support staff, as well as transportation. We believe that this commission, appointed by the governor, should thoroughly study the recommendations from PERS and its actuaries, their experts. And when you are convinced that the fund isn't in any danger, assure the governor that there is enough time for future governors and legislators to right the ship, in the words of Mr. Robinson from PERS. The same PERS that recorded a 25% gain in investments for the fiscal year which ended June 30th, and $20 billion, and that's with a beat in total assets. We believe that no one should be making scapegoats of public workers, suggesting that they are the cost of budget shortfalls, rather than acknowledging that a troubled economy, misguided taxes, high unemployment, and fiscal policies is what have endangered the public budget. We believe that it is reckless to propose that changing the pension plan, where it is more costly to administer, and shift investment risk to individual workers who are not knowledgeable about investing is unreasonable. We will run the risk of pressuring public employees into making concessions and giving back the pension benefits in some form that they rely on for a secure retirement. A promise made should be a promise kept. Also, keep in mind that the state workforce is 61% female and 39% males. 62% of our state employees make less than the average salary of $34,000 a year. 14% make less than $19,000, and 36% make less than $29,000. The unemployment rate here is high. Therefore, less workers are servicing more constituents. State workers are public servants and not private sector workers. Their bosses are more interested about pocketing more profits while keeping workers' salary low and cutting their benefits if they even exist. Thank you for the time.
Carolyn Smith, President of Retired Education Personnel of Mississippi. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to address our concerns about the future of PERS and thank you for your time serving on this commission. First, we truly believe that we have a great retirement system that we have in place at the present time. We believe that this retirement system will draw many young teachers to the profession. Salaries in the state of Mississippi have continued to be below the national average, but the retirement system is strong, and therefore those in the field of education have something to look forward to at the end of our years of service. Our main desire is to keep this system sane, so that we will continue to draw young teachers to our state and keep teachers in the classroom. I assure you, any taxpayer money that goes into the system will be money to secure the job of recruiting and keeping good teachers. Second, as retirees, we retired under a defined benefit plan, and therefore we could plan for the future. We strongly agree that a defined benefit plan is the best for our retirees. Under the defined benefit plan, members have access to professional investment management that eliminates the need for a member to manage his or her own contributions in the ever-changing market that we have. As retirees, we depend on the cost of living adjustment each year, and it is our desire that we continue to receive the cost of living adjustment under the current formula. We strongly believe that this is a part of our contract when we began teaching and when we retire. We realize that in the future with new hires, they may be necessary to make some changes for those, but for those of us who retired under the current plan, we would like to see that remain intact. Third, we strongly agree that PERS board should continue to be elected by the members of PERS, and the executive director be appointed by the board and report to the trust board of PERS board. PERS board should continue to have control over the management of our investment. Records prove we have a good management system in place, and this should continue. I have had the opportunity to attend the board meetings for the past 2 years, and I know that the members of PERS board worked hard to make sound decisions for the best interest of taxpayers, state employees, and retired state employees. We too have concerns for that ratio of active members to retirees. We must look at that and see how we can continue to balance that out, to keep more teachers in the classroom. And let me assure you again that our concern is but we still agree that the defined benefit plan is the best. Thank you.
Is Ann Timms all right?
Good afternoon. Kevin makes it friendly face. I do not share my love of Steve. So, anyway, my name is Ann Timms. I am retired from the Mississippi Department of Mental Health, where I worked for 34 years. I began my career in mental health in 1976 at a tremendous salary of $428 a month gross pay. And I retired 2 years ago. I'm not here today to advocate for myself. I'm here to advocate for those for whom I've advocated for the last 25 years, and those are direct care workers who serve the Department of Mental Health. As Brenda stated, there are many people who make way below that average $34,000 salary that's been mentioned, and these direct care workers are in that group at a starting salary of $17,409 a month, or $1,451, $17,000 a year, or $1,451 a month. These people do the hardest job that anybody can do in state government, and that is they take care of persons with mental illness and persons with mental retardation. They are kicked, they are slapped, they are spit on, they change adult diapers, and they do it 24/7 in the middle of the night or early in the morning. And if they retaliate in any kind of way, they get to go to jail for violating the Vulnerable Adults Act. And you'd be surprised, we have quite a large turnover, as you would imagine, in a situation like that, but you would be amazed at the number who are dedicated to working with these people and who stay with the department until they are retirement eligible. When they are hired, we cannot compete with local hospitals where they have much better working conditions and better pay. But what we have been able to do was offer them participation in the state retirement system. And that has been more important to them to figure out a way to plan for their future than having the slightly higher salary. Once these people have the deductions taken from their check every month, they end up with $1,035 after they have paid state and federal tax. And I'd like to make this very clear at this point. We state employees and state retirees and teachers and university professors and city and county officials are taxpayers. We pay taxes too. So when we hear that this system is a burden on the taxpayers, we are also taxpayers. Let me make that perfectly clear. And even these direct care staff pay state and federal taxes to the tune of $14,157,600 for the 4,164 people who serve in that capacity. That is over half of the workforce of the Mississippi Department of Mental Health. The rest of the people, vast majority, are nurses, teachers, psychologists, physicians, and all of those people are paid substantially less than their private sector counterparts because of their commitment to public service. And again, one of the things that allows us to recruit those people to work in the conditions that they have to work in is participation in the PERS system. It was a promise we made to those folks when they came to work for us. Senator Kirby, you may be interested to know, I'm sure you already did know, but you have 1,163 of these direct care workers in Rankin County between Hudspeth and State Hospital. And Mr. Snowden, you have 452 over there in Lauderdale County. And these people are very concerned about their benefits. Sorry, I didn't see you stand up. I would just like to say that I would like to see PERS stay intact as it is for current and future employees, and I believe it's a promise we should keep. And for the record, I'm here on my own. Nobody asked me to come, and I'm not on anybody's payroll. Thank you.
Case Sims, Mr. Coach, King Guy.
Gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to address you today. I too come on my own, but I'm a member of several organizations, and in talking to the members, many of them share my concern for the retirement system we have here. I have read what we heard from the director of the retirement program, so you know what advantages the retirement program has for us and the defined benefits plan that we have. But I need to remind you that this is the lowest paid state. This is the lowest paid profession in this state, in the lowest ranked state with the least classroom support, and there are a lot of obstacles that classroom teachers have to face. I taught junior high, high school, and community college and university. And all of these dangers, challenges, problems exist in every one of the classrooms I've taught in, past and present. After 32 years, I retired from the state of Mississippi. My husband is a retiree from the municipal program in Mississippi. My mother is a retiree from the Jackson Police Department Patrol Division for schools, and as a bus driver. So we have a lot of family members that depend on this retirement system, and it has served us well. I want to remind you that other things that teachers face, things like being vilified by politicians who claim that we're greedy and lazy, we get off at 3, but that doesn't mean it's the end of my school day. And most people who have children in school probably recognize that if you see the papers come graded back to you. Summer is no longer 3 months of freedom. We all have to do recertification. This is one program that there is no one to pay for that recertification except the individual. And I worry about people, municipal employees like my husband, other teachers currently working, many of them are my former students. And I wonder, why should they work in this state? What good is it going to do them if they don't have a retirement system to look forward to? What's going to keep them here and make our communities better? And I also want to call your attention, besides what the director of the PERS program told you about the advantages of the system, I want you to think about all the property taxes, income taxes, sales taxes that are generated for this state because you keep these employees here and because they have money to spend. They also give back in time. We have teachers who are subbing for young teachers on maternity leave. We have teachers who are in the city councils who are monitoring the state mandated test and monitoring in the classrooms and the athletic fields and the gymnasiums as referees. And all of this puts money back in our tax system. And if they retire after 25 years, they get another career, and you still have taxpayers. So it benefits the state more than it takes from the state. And we also help our elderly parents who are don't have to depend on the state retirement system, the state health care, Medicaid, and insurance system, because we are there retired to help them out. We're also costing the school systems a lot less money because they can hire younger, less experienced teachers to come in. More energetic is the positive that comes with them. And they cost a whole lot less to hire than retirees that left with 25, 30 years of experience. So I urge you to please maintain the defined benefit system that we have now, because there is so much advantage to it and so much more money it costs to change programs like that. One personal thing I wanted to mention is my mother's retirement check for my father's retirement system, when the deceased fathers came in. It was a grand $62.61 because the company he worked for 30 years went bankrupt. And that's what she would be left to live on had it not been for the PERS retirement system. So keep all the good that you do in mind, and thank you.
Dwight, thank you. This is elected as District Superintendent of the County University.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman Board. I am Dwight Luckett, the Superintendent of the Kansas Public School District. I also currently serve as the President of the Mississippi Association of School Superintendents for the 2011-2012 school year. I am addressing the committee on the concerns of lots of superintendents and public employees who have called me. And in summary, this is what they are saying. The majority of persons who call would like to see the PERS system remain as it is now, without fail. Next, it was looked upon and appreciated the PERS system as one of the best retirement systems in the United States. And because it's one of the best retirement systems, it serves as a recruitment tool for many quality, highly qualified persons who come to Mississippi or remain in Mississippi and work. Next, many of the people who are retired receive benefits, and receiving benefits depend on those benefits for their financial stability and livelihood. Any decrease in benefits will cause a hardship to many of these deserving recipients. Next, many employees who are currently serving the state of Mississippi, such as myself and others, have planned or are planning their retirement years based on the defined system that is now in place. To change it would also be detrimental for the future employees and retirees of the state of Mississippi. Some current employees have expressed that in a worst case scenario, if it is clearly defined and proven that the current retirement system could not sustain itself, then they say they would be willing to give more or have more taken out and put into the retirement system in order to sustain it. I think that's commendable. And lastly, it is further expressed to me by a number of people that if something has to change with the current system, do not, as I've said earlier, let this affect retirees who already receive benefits or persons who are currently in the system who look forward to and are planning their future based on the defined formula name. That at an absolute worst case scenario, that it would affect future employees. Thank you very much.
Dr. Philip Birchfield, Public School District in Clinton.
I'd like to thank the Commission for an opportunity to speak today. I know we have a great deal of confidence in the Commission, and once you hear the facts, that you will make the decisions and recommendations that are in the best interest of our retirees and members of PERS. I'd also like to thank the representatives, senators, members of the legislature for what you've done in support of PERS over the years. When you look at the current makeup of the PERS Board of Trustees, you will find that the present plan is excellent. 8 members are elected by various groups. The governor is represented by a member, and the state treasurer is by law a member. It is our hope that the current makeup does not change so that more members are appointed. In such a system, appointed trustees become representatives of appointing officials instead of representatives of members and retirees as we have now. PERS is set up now as a defined benefit plan. Moving away from this defined benefit plan would have major ramifications. A significant number of employees, perhaps as many as 50%, would either not participate in the plan or when changing jobs, would draw out their funds and spend them on frivolous expenditures. This obviously would result in retirees having little or no retirement funds, and more people would be participants in public welfare programs. The PERS this past year funded $1.6 billion into the state economy. That number will grow next year and the next and the next. We do not believe that individual retirement accounts would put that much money into the economy each year. If we switch to the defined contribution plan system, new employees would not be paying into the one fund, and there would be no way the existing trust could sustain itself. It is our preference that the current benefit structure of PERS stay the same. We keep the defined benefit plan, and the current makeup of the Board of Trustees remain the same. Again, I want to thank the Commission for allowing us voice in this process.
Kay Blake, retired superintendent of Pearl River Community College.
Individual representation here today. I am not retired from Pearl River Community College. I am the Forest County School District retired superintendent. Thank you for the opportunity to make comments today. While hearing that the Commission had been established to analyze the program structure and recommend improvements to keep PERS solid and to protect the interests of taxpayers and further retired state employees, I began then to recapture the information and experience over the last 4 decades to try to understand why this Commission was necessary. My research caused me to make several conclusions. An 8% investment return is the benchmark projected to be needed to remain financially and actuarially sound. A report in March of 2007 from 1992 to 2006, which was among the most turbulent and trying economic times in our country since the Great Depression, the retirement system earned an average of 9.24% for those 15 years. Reports for the year ending June 30, 2010, a return of 14.1%. June 30, 2011, had a return of 25.4%. The average annual pension for an individual after a career in public service is $18,900. The system has a consulting actuary. The state law requires independent auditors to review the system's financial statements. PERS has adjusted and proposed changes to the benefit structure as a result of committee recommendations. Some of these took effect this past July. I point these things out to come to a very important part of the conclusions. Safety measures are in place to ensure an actuarially sound system. Studies are conducted regularly to determine this. Also, changes have been made in our system based on those studies. After this research, I felt that it's important to focus on the benefit of the retirement system, especially when I heard that it was compared to Social Security. You see, I was around when the voters in our state voted that the funds in the retirement system were off limits to government borrowing from it. The Social Security funds have been borrowed by government in Washington, as reported in yesterday's newspaper, to the tune of $2.5 trillion. You see, our system was protected by the great citizens of our state. A really important fact that certainly needs to be considered is the recruiting tool that our great retirement system is when we need good young people to become teachers in our state, especially when we cannot recruit them based on the salaries that's the lowest in the nation. When I read the PERS State Commission comment form and saw a line to check that said, realigning the cost of PERS so that other state priorities like education can be funded at higher levels, I thought someone was actually pulling a joke, especially when alcohol and gambling was passed in Mississippi under the pretense of funding education. Now someone wants to interrupt one of the best recruiting tools available to get the brightest and the best students in our state to become teachers, especially when anyone in PERS is able to realign PERS to fund education. I would like to especially thank the state legislature for their support in assisting in maintaining the great retirement system that we have, and urge them to continue that support based on the recommendations of the PERS board and maintain the current management structure of that agency. It is apparent that they've done an outstanding job when you compare the retirement system for the state of Mississippi to others in the nation. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Gilbert, Mississippi Association of Educators.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, and to this commission. I do appreciate this opportunity to come before you today. My name is Kevin L. Gilbert, and I'm president of the Mississippi Association of Educators. We represent the largest professional organization for public education employees in the state. We represent not only public education teachers and administrative and education support professionals as well. We stand representing an organization, MAE, which, if you check your history, created the first retirement plan for public school educators because educators were not accepted in the PERS. We stand before you today representing over 8,000 members of the education community. We stand before you representing over 8,000 taxpayers. We stand before you today representing over 8,000 citizens of the state of Mississippi. We stand before you for our 8,000 members and their family members who have asked me to speak to you about the importance of the public employee retirement system to educators as professionals. As you are aware, as we stated earlier, and as an educator, we believe in repeating information so that we understand it better. As you are aware, there are approximately 165,000 active participants in PERS, 88,000 retired members of PERS. Of those active participants, 40% are public school-related participants, and of that 40%, half are classroom teachers. If you add that number of the university and college and other education-related fields, the number of educators participating in PERS is 55%. Tom Brokaw stated that public education is an engine that moves us as a society toward a common destiny. It is public education that the American dream begins to take shape. In order for Mississippi to help the nearly 500,000 students who attend public schools to successfully move toward that American dream, we must be able to recruit the best, the brightest, and the most effective teachers into the classroom and into our state. Furthermore, it is essential that we retain those highly qualified, highly effective teachers that are currently working here in Mississippi. With one of the lowest average teacher salaries in the nation, the ability of Mississippi to offer a quality fringe benefit program is crucial to the state's ability to recruit and retain highly effective teachers. PERS of Mississippi provides this type of security. Especially since Mississippi's average teacher salary has both flatlined and regressed in the last several years, none of our contiguous states which Mississippi has to compete with to recruit and retain these teachers have imposed the kind of pay cuts our public education employees now do. Additionally, educators have seen increases not only in their contribution to PERS, but also a